It's Saturday, June 10th, 2023. Quick video today. I'm just gonna take Nugget for a swim. It's a bit warm out, but a beautiful day. It looks like we might even have a little monsoon out here, some clouds rolling in. But a beautiful day nonetheless, and we are all blessed to have another day of life. But we must be concerned about what is taking place right now in this beautiful country. And if you look around, I think many of you see exactly what I see. We see a social decay taking place. We see a collapsing economy taking place. We see morality in this country disappearing at a frightening pace. And we really just see so much lawlessness now in America. And there are still people out there that just believe that everything's great. And people will still ask me, when's it going to collapse? Here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. It's already collapsed. You could argue that it collapsed back in 2008. That's when it all blew up. And we have just been buying time since 2008. What do you think about that? Have things already collapsed? Did it blow up in 2008? Are we just limping along from the 2008 crisis? Are we just kicking the can further down the road from what took place in 2008? Are we using a credit card to pay off another credit card? That is what the government is doing. That seems about what the average household is doing now, is they are just using credit cards to pay off other credit cards. And this is why your standard of living continues to go down, not up. That is why your purchasing power continues to go down, not up. And this is why they continue to print more and more money to just try and limp along before this thing goes spiraling out of control. These people who are still waiting for things to collapse, they're not looking at reality. It's already collapsed, ladies and gentlemen. It's already collapsed. What do we manufacture? What do we produce here in America now? We now have issues again at the West Coast ports, back at our terminals. $5.2 billion in cargo stuck off West Coast ports in truck and container bottleneck. Long Beach, Oakland, Los Angeles. There are 86,381 containers floating off port. $5.2 billion just sitting there. So we now have massive bottlenecks. They're back, ladies and gentlemen, at the largest U.S. supply chain and transportation hubs in America. Oakland, Los Angeles, Long Beach. Truck times in and out of the gate for container pickup are up. The number of containers waiting off the port of Los Angeles is more than double of what it was last week. The port of Oakland is operating at 58%. Port of Long Beach operating at 64%. The Port of Los Angeles operating at 62%. More ships are piling up off the coast, sitting idle, and this is going to cost somebody a lot of money. And guess who it's going to cost? It's going to cost you, and it's going to cost me more money, because these ships are sitting there burning fuel, containers are sitting there, and now we've got a bottleneck, and every day that goes by that we're not running at 100% capacity, we're going to see more problems, ladies and gentlemen. So this is something that the Federal Reserve cannot fix. We're going to see possibly even more inflation now because of this issue at the ports if it does not get corrected very, very soon. And it looks like it's not going to. Let's go on to another issue. This on CNBC today. 1 in 5 student loan borrowers at risk of struggling when payments resume. Consumer watchdog says. I have to ask all of you. Now, this college tuition loan repayment forbearance lasted for over 3 years. This pause of over 3 years, ladies and gentlemen, what were these people doing over the past three and a half years. Why were they not getting a job at one of these 10.1 million job openings that we hear about every day? Why were they not doing something to be productive to at least pay some of this debt down? Why were they not working? Why were they not fulfilling their obligations? Why were they relying on you and I to pay for this when they could be out there working a side hustle, working in the hospitality industry, working at Starbucks or a coffee house or a bar or a restaurant or a hotel or a resort? Why were they not doing something? They were just waiting and hoping that we were going to be on the hook for this and that we were going to pay their obligations. I hope and pray it doesn't happen. I don't think it's going to. Here's another barometer of where we're at today. Dollar slice dead as 99-cent pizza shops hike prices to $1.50. This is happening all over New York. These dollar slice pizza shops have got to raise prices because the price of cheese is going up. The price of flour continues to go up. So the price of that slice of pizza is going up. So think about that, 99 cents to $1.50. That's a substantial rise. And they keep telling us that inflation's coming down. We keep hearing that we're going to go back to 2%. We keep hearing about pauses. We keep hearing about the Fed's going to reverse course. We keep hearing that they're going to lower rates. How in the world are they going to lower rates when we're at, 4.95%? And they're talking about getting to 2%. And these New York pizza shops are now raising prices from 99 cents to $1.50 because flour and cheese prices are going up. You look at rent prices. If you watched my video yesterday, if you get a couple minutes, check out my video yesterday. I'm showing you townhomes in La Quinta, California that are going to be renting for $4,000 to $5,000 per month. Not for sale, for rent, $4,000 to $5,000 a month. Yes, maybe televisions are getting cheaper, maybe computers are getting cheaper, but I'll tell you this, energy prices aren't getting cheaper, food prices aren't getting cheaper, it doesn't look like rent is getting cheaper, the cost of living doesn't seem to be getting much cheaper. How are people going to continue to do this? And we have, as I've said in the past, we have a lot of people coming into the country. That means we have a lot more people that we're going to need to feed, a lot more people we're going to need to employ, a lot more people who are going to need to use the medical system. And all this is broken, ladies and gentlemen. We are having a difficult time feeding our own people right now. And if you can get food, you're paying so much for it. Some people are literally going to starve because they just can't afford the food that is on the shelves. If you have a little bit of time this weekend, and if you don't have a food supply at your home for at least 90 days minimum, I would take a few minutes and I would take $20, $30, $50, or $100 this weekend, and I would go get some canned food. I'd go get some bottled water. If you can afford some emergency food, do that too. Do it all. Do whatever you can. Buy the emergency food, buy the canned food, buy some bags of rice, bags of beans, some bottled water. Cover all the bases, ladies and gentlemen, because we do not really know how bad this is going to get. But I don't know about you, but there's something that just seems very, very ominous taking place. Something very, very wrong. Again, the ports are breaking down. We've got bottlenecks. The wheat farmers in Kansas say it's going to be the worst year ever. Corn farmers in the Midwest say it's going to be a bad year. The cattle ranchers talking about maybe some of the most expensive beef prices we've ever seen in the history of the U.S. And inflation just continues to go up. So I don't know how the average person is going to make it. Here's another one. While people are starving, while people are going homeless, while people are going into foreclosure, while people are struggling from day to day, can't pay their utility bills, U.S. announces new $2.1 billion weapons package for Ukraine. This was announced yesterday. This includes munitions for Patriot and Hawk air defense systems. How do you feel about this when so many people are struggling, so many people are homeless, so many people are working 2, 3, even 4 jobs, and they're just not even getting ahead? People are having a difficult time even going to McDonald's now because the prices are going up so high. And yet we've got billions of dollars and billions of dollars and billions of dollars to keep sending over to other countries. And look, this isn't to take sides. It's not about getting political. It's just what's right, what's wrong. We have got a mess on our hands right here. And we are not going to be able to help anybody on planet Earth if this country continues to go down the toilet like it is going. Here's one from Fox Business. TikTok users sound off on McDonald's swelling hash brown prices. What are we doing here? A side order of hash browns now at McDonald's, $2.29. You can still buy a breakfast sandwich for $2, but if you want a side order of hash browns, it will cost you more than the breakfast sandwich at $2.29. You know, I don't like to give advice, but I'm gonna give you some advice today. Stay away from this garbage. Every once in a while, if I'm in a bind, I might have some hotcakes and sausage at McDonald's. I rarely ever eat at McDonald's unless it's an emergency. Now I do drink their coffees on a regular basis. I will say that, full disclosure. But stay away from the hamburgers. Stay away from that stuff. One of the best things I think you can do right now in your life, and it's not going to cost you anything, it's going to save you some money, is try to stay away from all this processed food. We're all guilty. I'm guilty. I'm sure many of you are guilty. Maybe some of you have kicked it out of your lives forever a long time ago. But every once in a while, I'm in a pinch and I will succumb to it. But one of the best things we can do right now is get this garbage out of our lives and get healthy, get fit, be exercising, make sure that we're getting our bodies, into a sweat, getting our bodies and our muscles loose, getting that blood pumping, getting that heart pumping and getting blood into those muscles. That means getting off the phone. That means getting off the couch, and that means doing something. Now, switching gears here, this article, 3 killed, 4 hurt overnight, New York City mayhem, cops say. A 67-year-old gunned down, 2 others targeted and gunned down. They're all dead, and many others shot. Here's another one. San Francisco shooting leaves 9 people injured. Police say no arrests made. They say it is a targeted attack. Here's another one. Woman, 23, slashed in face during New York City subway attack by a stranger. This happened before 3 p.m. Before 3 p.m. I bring these last few articles up because I've just noticed so much when I'm out. A video I did the other night talking about when I was out to dinner, watching a family sitting there, a husband, a wife, and their kid all sitting there with their phones out. Not talking to one another, not communicating, just sitting there looking at their phones while they're out to dinner. Not paying any attention. First off, that's bad enough because you're out to dinner with your family. You should be communicating. You should be spending time with one another. But I see so many people hunched over. I'm sure the chiropractors are so busy now with so many young people hunched over with big humps on their back. Just people getting hunchback syndrome because they're on their phones 10, 15 hours a day. It's ridiculous. We're probably all guilty of spending a little too much time on our phones. You got to start cutting this stuff out because it's very, very first off, it's bad for you physically. Secondly, you are not paying attention to your environment. I see so many young women walking around with their heads down, looking at a phone, not paying attention. They did a survey a couple years back asking all these felons, thousands of them, how did they pick out their victims? And they were looking for people, how they walked. They were looking if they were paying attention. They love people looking down at their phones, not paying attention. That's an easy way to get your purse snatched. It's a good way to get kidnapped. It's a good way to be a victim, ladies and gentlemen, male or female. And you should be telling your kids right now, first off, young kids probably shouldn't even be on these phones to begin with. But we have way too many young people and way too many adults looking down, not paying attention to their environments, and they're not paying attention to reality because they spend half their day on the internet. And I think it's dangerous for your health. I think it's dangerous for your safety. And I think, you know, getting to the gym, exercising, training, and getting off your phone, you're going to be a much, much better, healthy person. So just something to think about this weekend. Cut out the fast food, get off the phones, pay attention to your environments, work out, go buy some food, have at least 90 days put away. I would have a lot more. It depends, you know, on your financial situation, but do whatever you can to have at least minimal 90 days. If you can do a year, great. 90 days minimum, ladies and gentlemen, and it doesn't take all that much. But it does take maybe a sacrifice. You may have to sacrifice going out tonight. You may have to sacrifice that weekend trip this summer. You may have to sacrifice, you know, the 2 lattes a day at Starbucks. You got to cut something out, ladies and gentlemen. We all do that in order to get ahead. If you want to get ahead, if you want to save money, if you want to buy assets, if you want to have the emergency food, if you want to be in a better place in life, you got to cut things out of your life. You got to save some money. You gotta pay the debts down, and that's how you're going to start to get ahead. But people that don't get ahead are the people that don't have control. Yet they're always on social media showing you where they're partying. They're showing you the martinis. They're showing you, you know, the beer they're drinking, the latte they're drinking, the steak that they're eating. They're showing you all these things, but they're absolutely broke. They have nothing saved up, no cash, no silver, no gold, no food, no nothing. So as I leave you today, again, going back to those past few articles, be aware of your environment and your situation, and make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you're all working on security. Security, security, security. Again, these people that make videos every day telling us how bad it is, yes, it's bad. But what can you do to not be a target financially or physically? These are the things we need to be working on right now. Paying down the debts, saving some cash, buying some assets, working some extra side hustles, and working on our security. Because if you cannot protect yourself, if you cannot protect your assets, none of this is worth anything. It really isn't. So security, 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 ladies and gentlemen. And that means getting in better physical shape, and knowing how to take care of yourself in the event of a hostile situation, whether it be out somewhere on the streets or somebody kicking your door in at 3 a.m. Are you able to deal with that? Do you have the mindset? Do you have the tools? Do you have the training? God bless all of you. Have a phenomenal weekend. Give thanks to God upstairs for everything He's blessed you with. I feel so blessed, and I'm so thankful to be able to speak with each and every one of you daily. Thank you so much. None of this is possible without you. And I feel blessed that we're going to continue, you and I, we're going to continue to wake people up, even if it's only one at a time. Look at those comments down below. Read those comments down below. The best comments on YouTube, bar none, the best. You people are the reason so many other people in those comments are waking up. God bless. Have a great weekend.